We are live. Everyone, welcome to the JDmediahub Bets. And we are here with you on YouTube. And hopefully someday we will see you guys all very, very soon when with the Twitter and or X is big. So we are going to get right into the game because that's why you are all here. But just to give you a little bit of a just a smidge of a introduction here, I am the JDmediahub, and we are going to be talking about the NFL Saturday Night Showdown between the Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to give you some in-game betting. We're also going to be talking a lot about the game itself and a play-by-play. So we've just missed an 8-yard sack, and now Gardner is back in this shotgun, and he hands off to Jonathan Taylor, and it's a huge run. And it's stuck probably for a gain, I'd say, of about 8, which is going to bring up maybe about 10, and it's going to bring up 4th down. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of our in-game betting as well. So the game line has changed, obviously, since Houston put up the game touchdown right out of the gate. So it's already we're looking at a game where looks like CJ Stroud is pretty much not lost anything and is pretty much back into form. So yes, the concussion protocol that he was under was a little bit of a just a hiccup for him, but we are now seeing a Mr. We're seeing him look fantastic here, so we're going to try to keep this thing as much as possible. So we are looking pretty solidly. The in-game betting, as I was saying before, is about, it looks like it's like Houston is about a plus 145 if you go ahead and take the line at this particular point. We are at a commercial break. The Indianapolis Colts they're still in there. I mean, it's only 7-3. So a plus 8.5 is pretty solid. If you could take a look at some of the alternate spreads as well, you can get negative 2, which is a minus 180. So you can actually give the points back or get some points back. So the home field advantage with the Colts obviously looks pretty good. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's not going to go down without a fight. So that should be fun as well. So as I said before, I am the JDmediahub, and we're going to be doing some of these live broadcasts as much as possible. As you can see above me here, I run JD Media Productions, and we're going to have some live streams for pretty much almost everything that we can get there. I'm going to put up some stuff for tomorrow as well. So until we wait for the game to come back, I'm going to kind of give you just a little bit of some of the fun stuff that's out here from a betting perspective. I don't know if the flash props. So looks like the second Houston Texans drive results looks like a punt, so we can actually go in there and get in some of this stuff too. Most of the third, most of these next attempts, new downs, all this stuff, it's a little bit on the but you really want to kind of take a look and see exactly how the game is starting to proceed. So we don't really want to go into these flashes until we see how the rest of this game is going to actually go into the zone here. So we're looking at some of the game lines again. They are changing pretty regularly. We're still holding about a 180. Our live TD scorers, no touchdown scorers for the second Houston Texan drive. So a no touchdown, that's a good looking bet. I wouldn't mind take a look at that one right there. So actually I probably would put that in the slip almost immediately. But that Devin Singletary, that's a big one as well. But if Nico Collins ends up having a game, and it looks like he might actually be doing that, well, we're already losing it. Well, it looks like the second Texans drive is going to end up, so we should have gotten in there when we could there as well. So those lines are starting to move as well. So the passing props, these are my favorites. So we're looking at now CJ, which all of those of you that have put that went ahead and went in with your over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So we are now, the game is back on, and we have CJ under center, and we have Singletary in the backfield. It's a huge hole for probably a gain of 6. So second down. The Indianapolis defense looks like they're probably going to sell out a little bit. They are introducing the offense, but they are most likely going to have I would say, a good enough time to try to deal with CJ. So we're now back. Looks like we are now in the shotgun. Nope, we're under center again. CJ's under center, and another handoff to Devin Singletary. Just shy of the first down. We have about 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first as the Colts defense is now being introduced. So that was about a 2-yard run. And so if we look at the betting slip, I think we're going to clear this right now because we've got pretty much a pretty solidly looking different. I'm sorry, we have a perfect view of what's going on right now. So again, 7-3, Houston on top. CJ drops back and he's running and he dives for the first down, and he will get it. So honestly, CJ is just looking like he has probably, almost in mid-season form. I'm sorry, late season form, even with the concussion protocol. He did sell out, but he didn't slide. So due to the fact that there was a dive, so they did give him the first down. So moving back into our looking at these, some of the lines are changing. CJ is now out of the shotgun. He drops back, and it's complete to Nico Collins, and it looks like that's about a 6-yard pass to Nico Collins. So it looks like the connection between Nico and CJ is on point. So we are pretty much looking like this is going to be a pretty balanced approach by the Houston Texans. They're reporting that he has 22 receptions of 20 yards plus, which is just too shy of the team record. CJ is now under center, and he is now handing off to, and it looks like Singletary just came up short, which is going to bring up third down. He was one man shy, and it was going to go all the way. So that looks like that was about a 2-yard run, and now we have a 3rd and 1 to pick up the first down right in the middle of the field. So as we look backwards, we are now seeing that the crowd is getting wild. 3rd and 1, CJ out of the shotgun, quick, and he's going nowhere, folks. Some of these things, and I'm really kind of thinking that it's just absolutely crazy why this all goes down, but CJ Stroud, they're selling out to this whole thing. So if you're going to continue to utilize him like you should, why not just go ahead and keep dropping back, or at least some sort of play action or an RPO, something that's going to allow this to kind of lend to the strengths. I understand that Singletary can be very, very dangerous, but honestly, that doesn't really make a lot of makes a lot of sense from all that too. So CJ, that you look at that betting line, that switched back to a 2.5. So looks like the 3 touchdowns is back to plus 154. So we got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left and a punt. So the punt, Johnston just punts, and it looks like it's about a 44-yard as we go back to the commercial break. I've never really enjoyed seeing how this all kind of comes through with the way that a game will, almost come to everybody. It's like you'll see the game coming to you. You've already had the ability to have CJ Stroud go for a deep bomb and pick up Nico Collins. I don't get it. So you got your Devin Singletary. You even did a quarterback draw with CJ, and now you're in a place where you're going to have to punt because it doesn't come through. So I think that, you are away. You've already kind of shown that you can go down the field. I would be taking a lot more pokes down the field just to kind of keep the defense honest. So, we're looking pretty solidly as far as how this is all kind of coming together. So I'm really excited. We're going to go back to the betting lines and see if things are starting to move forward. We got a plus 154 at CJ on the passing props. Let's see what the receiving props looks like here. So, do we have Nico over 144.5 for Nico Collins, folks. So, yeah, that's a big number. So I get that he had the, I get that. So let's see real quick here what this, so we're going to kind of drop back down here to see, it was a 75-yard touchdown. So that means Nico's got around 85 yards. So that's not too shabby from a standpoint of, what we're trying to look at here. Like I said, we're trying to kind of see how this, I would say kind of comes together for everything. We're just going to take a look at what's actually happened. So we've got of course we've punted twice now and from both squads after the field goal and touchdown. So everyone's pretty much sizing each other up throughout this game. It's been pretty nice. The game has been quite entertaining so far. So we are coming back now after the commercial break. So we're going to see what Gardner and the Indianapolis Colts are going to bring back to us. So we shall see how that all kind of comes through to fruition. So let's go ahead and see if we now have this. So we're now in about 2 minutes and 55 seconds left. We are back under, so we are now looking like we are in a play in progress, and Gardner just did a jet sweep, and it's a big run, huge run. So we're just a little bit behind in so we're basically looking like it was a no huddle shotgun, and then but now the pass was going to be a short middle to Antonio Pierce. So we're going to go ahead and catch back up now. So looks like Gardner is backing out. Yep, no, he was under center. Now he's back. He is still in the shotgun position, and he's dropping back, and they send everybody, and it looks like it's now was incomplete. So that comes back to how we are looking at this. So we're now doing so Will Anderson Jr. has been kind of been rotating in and out. He is, of course, one of the most prolific rookies to play at this particular point, and probably going to make a big push for Defensive Rookie of the Year, or at least make a case for it, folks. So Gardner is going to be dropping back into the shotgun position. The ball is hiked, and he fakes it to Jonathan Taylor, and it's incomplete pass to Mallory. So looks like the Houston Texans are clamping down, and they are sending a pretty good balanced approach in their defense. They showed blitz and then came out, and then of course they are also kind of rotating, I'd say, in and out of a nickel into an amoeba. So the defense looks really, really solid. Looks like Gardner is 3 for 7 for 21 yards. So the over for Gardner is looking a little bit iffy right now. So Gardner is now back into the shotgun position, and the ball is going to be hiked, and he drops back, and he's running for his life, and he just hurls the ball down the field, and it's incomplete again to Pierce. So, and now it's a holding call. So it was a holding call. So it looks like that the Indianapolis Colts are going to kind of come up a little short on this drive. Completely did not have, the Indianapolis Colts offense did not have an answer for the defense on that one. So, we're seeing a lot of how this is going to end up probably transpiring throughout this game. So looks like, Alec Pierce, looks like that he's going to be probably one of the main targets. Dalton Schultz still has a 38.5 point, 38.5 yard. Let's see here. Yep. So, And the punt is off, and it is fielded at the 20, and a pretty good return all the way back up to the 38. Excellent, excellent punt. So some of these rushing props, let's see what we got here. Looks like that's CJ Stroud one. That's a pretty nice one right there. I'd probably put that into my betting slip right there. And look at that. That's a solid one, especially from an in-game. Because he is going to be able to do this. And I'll tell you right now, knowing the way CJ that I do, you are probably going to see him rolling out as much as possible. And if he sees something, he will go for it. So I'd probably definitely end up adding that to my bet slip as far as this. Gardner Minshew rushing yards. See the rushing attempts. So I think the Singletary attempts is probably fantastic. That 18.5 is another one. I would probably put that on the bet slip as well. And then the Jonathan Taylor. I'm probably going to maybe lean on the under, so everybody, you can kind of hold me to this. Maybe put a 19.5 under because of what happens when this whole thing kind of goes down here. So, and of course, that he already took that off here. So that's the one thing about these in bettings, these in bets. So anyway, you are now seeing how this all kind of came to fruition from how this was going to kind of be put forward. So we have a 12-yard pass, and it was short, and it was right to Nico Collins. So another first down. The Houston Texans look like they are just ready and loaded for bear. So, I think we probably going to clear this one right here, so we can clear. Let's just clear all those right there. But I still do like. See, now the 9s have actually suspended on that. So you got the Gardner ones, but you can actually have this as well too. So, it's pretty solid. A pretty good. Good looking run here. So, 2nd and 9. Devin Singletary, ended up getting 1 yard for that. So it's now going to be about 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the first quarter, and you have a 2nd and 9. So you are going to look at probably another run call to make it a 3rd and manageable, but you just don't know. I mean, it's CJ Stroud in CJ under center with Devin Singletary in the backfield, and a handoff to Devin Singletary, and he breaks free of the original line of scrimmage, and a nice yard after pressure here. So he ended up shaking off a couple of those tackles there and made something out of really nothing. He should have almost been caught for a loss. So that's going to bring up a very interesting 3rd down and 5. So let's see what they're going to bring up. Are they going to get another playoff before the second quarter? About 11 seconds left in this, and CJ is now out of the shotgun. And the shotgun looks like, it might be a free play. I would say nope, and they blew it dead. And they're not going to say that it was a offsides. It looks like it is going to be a false start. So that's going to be possibly a drive killer here. And it looks like if I am the Indianapolis Colts, I'm going to be looking for a pass. So I don't know. That one, guys, I don't know about that one. That one looks like it probably was more like, what can you do here? So there's the end of the first quarter. So we're going to end up seeing some of this stuff here for a minute. But we basically are just going to kind of do a little recap of what everything we saw in the first quarter. A little bit delayed, and it comes down to CJ ended up having a nice pass to Nico, but is going to come up short, probably 4th down, and it is not going to be enough. And that is going to take them to the second quarter, which is a 4th and 3 as we go to a commercial break. Not the most beautiful looking drive here right now. You got about a 6-play, 24 yards, taking about 2 minutes and 29 seconds. A lot of Nico Collins, a lot of CJ Stroud, obviously, and Devin Singletary. So I've always been wondering about how, people are going to, or coaches are going to end up looking and seeing how they're going to, continue to, I guess, needle the defense and kind of tire them out. When you have a 7-3 lead, that's not necessarily a big lead, but this is going to be one of those games that looks like it's going to be a premium or points are just going to be a premium. So you're going to see this and see how everything is kind of, the plays that are being put together here are most likely going to be, I'd say, like I said before, from a balance perspective, but I do believe that it's going to be a heavy run here now from a standpoint of what CJ is going to look like as well. So, still a 150 with the passing touchdowns, and of course the under now looks like about a negative 195. I'm still putting that over on CJ. I still think he's going to throw 3 touchdowns. That Indianapolis defense looks like they don't have enough. Plus, the Houston Texans know how to play on turf, so it looks pretty solidly. That line for passing yards for CJ looks pretty monstrous. That completion line, I do like that completion line. But 300 yards by CJ might be a big one there, so we'll kind of see how that whole thing works up there too. The interception line, these are really kind of solidly. As I was looking for, as far as my my outlier app, we were looking at some of these things from a interception perspective, and that's something you need to look at. I would not be surprised if then it ends up going into where Gardner is definitely going to end up probably throwing a, I would say his over is definitely something that I would take a look at right now, because they're going to be passing. So I would put that on a bet slip, absolutely. And probably Gardner's, just watch that pass attempt. Watch that pass attempt. I know that's a lot here, but 37 passing attempts is going to be huge. So they are now punting the ball. And it looks like it's going to be downed at the 1 yard line for Gardner. So that interception line looks even better and even stronger here. The defensive props, let's see here if there's anything we kind of have that going on for us. Let's try to see if we can make this thing go back to the way we were before. And here we go. So let's go back to that. And I think we are back in the game again. So down to the 1, and we are, pretty much looking like this is going to be almost like a keep him out of the safety perspective. So I don't know if there's anything rushing wise. The receiving lines kind of are a little bit, but everything's frozen as far as DraftKings. Gardner is out. Oh, and he just got him to jump. Oh man, Gardner Minshew is going to end up being a starter somewhere. He just got himself out of the, I guess they put it even in. He was even less than a yard, and he just picked up 5 yards from the Houston defense. So, not the best thing from the Houston defense. A little bit jittery on that one, I'd say. So, 7-3, the early in the second quarter, 1st and 5. Gardner hands off to Jonathan Taylor, and Jonathan picks up another chunk yard of about 4 yards. So, these as we kind of jump over to the Jonathan Taylor stuff here, so rush attempts. That rush attempt thing, I guess it's still around. That's something you could pick up. I would probably, as you can see it kind of disappearing with every one of these deals. So let's just think about this. You could even get maybe 6 or 7 run attempts even from Jonathan even before the end. So, now they already bumped it up. So watch that thing. If it goes down to a 20, I would still take a look at that. And Jonathan Taylor gets it, and he gets the first down and more. So he picks up about 8 yards, right up the middle, maybe 6 yards. So it was a bad spot, but That is the way it looks like it's going to be. So Jonathan, see, that 20 that we just saw earlier, just a second ago, that was one of the ones that we needed to look at. So, we're learning. We're seeing how this game is progressing. I still think it's going to be, that Devin Singletary is going to be a heavy. I would take that bet slip right now. That's exactly what I would do. Take Devin right there. So what do we got here? Our over is now been suspended on all of that. So, so I'm close, folks. I think that, and that was another, let's see here. So we had a 6-yard pass, and that was just to Jonathan Taylor. We're going to get a huge Jonathan Taylor game today. So, as we kind of move back forward into everything here, it looks like we are now going forward with as much as we can here. And there's, I got to move. I do definitely have to move that. So we have Gardner out of the shotgun, and it looks like there's showing blitz, and it's a nice screen pass, and it goes for about, and it goes again to Jonathan Taylor. So not too shabby. You're going to see a lot of Jonathan Taylor. So this is pretty awesome here. So those attempts for Jonathan Taylor, if that thing keeps going the way it's going, then it's looking pretty solidly. I don't see any Zach Moss stuff, so that's not something we need to do. The receiving, let's go over to the receiving side from receiving for Jonathan Taylor. How about that? So they even froze the Jonathan Taylor the line there too. So Minshew hands off to Jonathan Taylor. Looks like it's going to be a loss of 1. So that's not too terrible there. Again, that's a rushing attempt. So if you were on the rushing attempts for Jonathan Taylor, and it looks like it was a kind of a miscommunication. Taylor ran into his own guy and a horse collar, but there was a missed call on the horse collar. So we have, looks like we're going to get another punt by Sanchez. And I would say this is going to give the Texans pretty good field position. So that's going to be something that's going to be interesting. So it's going to walk back over to our from our passing perspective and look at the passing props. And maybe that, look at that, 291. So it's already gone down there. So that's really nice. Wow, the punt was really nice, and it got all the way out to the 30. So I would definitely look at the C.J. Stroud passing yards at 291. That's another one I would stick in the slip there too. And then, that Gardner Minshew interception prop, even that's starting to look a little bit like, because I guess there was enough where there was, no one's really scoring here, so that hasn't really taken out the play as far as or taken out anything, any of the game plan. So when you have a full complement of a game plan, you pretty much have the ability to run, and continue to move the clock. They don't want to keep seeing this thing kind of keep going from how it was in the beginning. So, they don't want to see this thing completely looking like it's going to be ended. So we've already got so it's like we got a nice little, looks like we've got somebody that's kind of coming in. So that's pretty nice. So we can kind of say hello. Let's just kind of say hello to everybody here. And so, I'm hoping that, as we continue to go forward here, we'll have some people that will kind of take a look and kind of come on over and we'll have some fun here, So, well, we've pretty much got a pretty solid game, except for that slop fest that we watched before with the Steelers and the Ravens. But now you have a Houston 7, Indianapolis 3, and it's going pretty well here. So, are any of our props looking like that we should be taking a really hard look at here? Any of these flash props? Let's look at the popular props here. Looks like a show me the money contract incentive specials. 73 rush and receiving yards. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Put that in there. Look at that guy. That's awesome. Yeah, So now we're already in so looks like CJ's has gone down. So we could get in with that Devin Singletary 73-yard rush plus receiving and a CJ Stroud slip. That's not a bad slip right there, folks. So I wouldn't mind that as well. So looks like we're going to kind of go back into the game here. And it looks like CJ is now in the huddle. He's 4 for 5 for already 100 yards and a touchdown. So we are CJ is by far having an excellent game here. Let's see here. So they start to basically bring this all in, and it looks like there is CJ out of the pistol, and he gives it to Singletary. And Singletary is dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. So they give him a yard. And now we are looking at some more. Let's get back into our passing props with CJ. So it's 289, folks. It's 289 and a half. It just lost it. So I think that there's, Gardner's. Look at that. Gardner's over pass touchdowns is minus 230. You should probably pick that one up. It's juiced to the hilt. And CJ throws a pass out to Mechie, and it's probably about a 5-yard pass, and it was complete. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 4. Let's see here. Passing yards back up to 290.5. So we could have got it at 289.5, folks. That's where we should have had it. The crowd is getting loud. And it's 3rd and 4, and CJ is in the shotgun. And he's got Singletary to his right, and he drops back, and he looks left, and he drives over the middle, and it's a first down. First down. So that was Dalton Schultz. And it looks like it's getting a little chippy between these two here. So this is one of those interdivisional rivalries that's kind of a, you can kind of see where this is going to go, especially between Anthony Richardson, if he wasn't hurt, and, of course, CJ Stroud. So you are now seeing, a young team or two young teams kind of going forward. Plus, you have all these extensions. So CJ out of the shotgun, he gets a hike, and he goes deep, and it's down to it's just skies over Dalton Schultz. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 10, and that's the first time I've seen CJ really sky anything. So that was interesting as well. 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. So it looked like he had enough, but then I think Dalton was supposed to actually go up a little bit longer. Oh, I'm wrong. It was right through his hands. That's a play that Dalton needs to make. That one, he got both hands on it. I get it, but this is the NFL. CJ hands off to Devin Singletary, and it's a gain of 4. So that is also going to bring up looks like about 4. No, brings up about 3. So 3rd and 7. Let's see here. So now we're down to 286 on CJ's, on his player, so that inline, I know I'm watching that a lot, but also that completion wise. So his completions now, I'm thinking that 20.5 or that 281 looks fantastic. He goes up, CJ goes for the first down, 3rd and 7, and he comes up a yard short. So a decision time to be making as they bring up 4th down. So the play clock is running. All full timeouts here. The offense is staying on the field. Substitutions are being made. CJ looks at the defense, and it's either a flag or a timeout. And it was a false start. So again, looks like the Indianapolis crowd has been a factor here. So he didn't get set. Yep, that's where it was. So, I don't really know what it is with all of this. So it kind of looks like there's a, I would say probably and now they're not going to go for it. So that has changed everything. So two really big penalties. One for getting, really almost kind of they could have pinned Gardner back into the touchdown. Into his own end zone, but instead he was able to come out too. So, all right, 7 minutes and 51 seconds left in the second quarter as we take a break due to a punt. 7-3, still the Texans on top. Any props moving? So it looks like the CJ Stroud pass line is moving down. I'd say the receiving lines. Let's go find Nico. So they're still saying Nico Collins is going to be about a toss-up on the over-under of 150.5. The way this is looking, I don't know. That's a huge line. I'm probably kind of staying away from it a little bit, but now it's up to 153.5. So the under is looking really solid to me on that one. But that Jonathan Taylor, I think that one is probably the one I'd look more. That one looks like it's got more, I'd say, or even the Dalton Schultz, a 32.5. So we could kind of almost look at this as we kind of go back into the recap of this game. Let's see here. So we have, let's see here, just from the punt. So that was around a 20-yard, 8-play, 3 minutes in total time. So if you can see, the defenses are 100% holding up right now. So it does look like it is becoming one of those defensive struggles, which should lead us, kind of lend us back to some of these unders. So, I think it's probably not a sure thing by any stretch, but you have to kind of keep your head on a swivel when it comes to some of these. So, I don't know with these breaks if it's got anything down. CJ's down to 284.5. That line is probably, if that thing goes down under 280, I think you got to go for it because this game stays tight. There's going to be passing. So down to 281.5, folks. 281. And Gardner's now down to 197.5. So that's pretty solid. We really have to take a look at those receivings. Anything rushing that's kind of got us. Jonathan Taylor has looks like about 106. We'll kind of take a look at the stats here. Looks like let's see here. So we can actually go into his let's see here, stats. Most of this stuff is probably player stats. So first touchdown. Oh, so we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go here, go back into the odds. And we are back. So let's see here. And we are back on the, let's see here. There we go. 6-yard runs. All right. So just a smidge behind for this. Looks like Gardner is going to end up giving Zach Moss up middle. So they're going to spell Jonathan Taylor, and he's going to pick up 6 yards. I don't know about you guys, but I won an entire league with Zach Moss. So if you are one to kind of look at that from a perspective of holding two running backs, Zach Moss and the Zach Moss, and you have the Jonathan Taylor, prolific Jonathan Taylor. Sorry, Gardner Minshew under center. He's in the shotgun, and it looks like he's got two backs, and one is in motion, and then it's a double set, and he drops back and throws a screen, and looks like it's picked up well, and it gets back to So it does pick up 2. It looks like the Texans were all over that as they went to Jonathan Taylor for a screen. That's bringing up 3 and out, folks. 4th and 2. So 6 minutes and 46 seconds left. So then they are going to go back in and take a look at all of this. Again, 7-3. Still in this rivalry game of Week 18. And it looks like it's a pretty... Whoa, and an unbelievable punt down to the 30 and a pretty solid return of about 17 yards. So, you know, that's not too shabby. So officially it's a 51-yard punt and return for 13 yards. So we see CJ warming up already, and it is looking like the broadcast is going to go to a break. So what does that give us from a standpoint of betting? So that's CJ. It got down to 281, and Gardner is now down to 183. So the overs on both of those look really well. I think this next drive is probably going to be the beginning of, I'd say the way that this game is going to look. I would probably think that this is going to be very pass heavy coming out of the break, just because you've got about 6 minutes, so you can kind of run almost a mini 2-minute. Let's see, anything rushing here. That Devin Singletary, I'm kind of digging that one too. So, that thing kind of moves a little bit lower too. So Jonathan Taylor, if that goes sub, what's his receiving, rush and receiving here? Let's take a look at that. So 122.5. Yeah, that's I like that one. Nico at 155.5. Those jet sweeps they like to run. It's not too shabby. Alec Pierce, they tried to get him involved early. You haven't heard his name in a while there. So the rushing attempts still look pretty solid. That Jonathan Taylor, that's going to come back after a break. That's most likely going to probably be around 20. So Devin Singletary at 19.5. Yeah, that's pretty solid. It's the receiving props. A lot of the in-game stuff. I mean, it really only can look at is this Nico Collins stuff. I'm not really touching a lot of that, so it's either passing or rushing right now, just because of the way the game's moving forward. So they still have CJ Stroud's passing touchdowns at 2.5. So that's a plus 190. And no, I've watched that line here for the last half an hour. This game might not get down to the place where you see any more really, massive touchdowns. And a 2-touchdown day with CJ would be really, really unbelievable. And we kind of in that place where you can see how it's kind of moving forward. So let's see here. Let's get this thing back up again. And it is CJ handing off in a huge run by Devin Singletary. So, 7-yard Singletary run. So he's already, looking like he's I'd say probably going to be really pushed throughout this one, kind of soften up the defense a little bit, but they haven't gone back downfield. So that's a little interesting. I know that the last really, over 20-yard throw was a CJ skied to Dalton Schultz. CJ under center, fakes off, does a play action, looking nothing, sees something, gets the first down. So that is Saubert. So that sometimes I can sound like a fanboy with CJ, but I watched his entire career at Ohio State, and he did everything there was that was, he basically looked like he was a 3-year NFL veteran during that Georgia game. And the only reason why the Ohio State Buckeyes lost that game was because of a shanked field goal. CJ in the middle of the field, under center, Singletary in the backfield, handoff to Singletary, and he picks up a solid 7 yards. So those attempts down there for Mr. Let's look at those attempts for rushing attempts. So Devin Singletary's rushing attempts are 22 and a half. They're frozen, folks. All right. So you now have CJ Stroud under center, and it looks like about 4.5 minutes. It's a pitch back to Devin. He makes this, looks like he's going to hit in the backfield, and he picks up a 2. So that is going to bring up third down. So third and a long 1. We'll just call it third and 2. So it looks like they're doing some substitutions, and Devin's going to stay on the field. And the entire DraftKings looks like it is completely changing here. So let's see here. What are we going to do? So the winner clinches a playoff berth here between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. And it's a swing out pass, and it's to Collins, and he broke free. He's at the 20, he's at the 15, and he just gets out. Oh my. Wow. On third and 2, a huge pass by, and it really wasn't even that much. It was just all a perfectly placed ball, and Nico basically blew right through the defense. So it was actually almost just a little pitch out, and he just kind of throws it to his left, and Nico is just almost in stride at that point. So question is, what are they going to do, folks? So that is now CJ under center at the 9. Pitch out to Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary comes in, and he's tripped up. Gets to about the 4. He gets to the 4. So we are now officially second and goal with 2 minutes and 56 seconds left to go in the game. In the half. The play clock is running, and it looks like the defense on the Indianapolis Colts is starting to tire a little bit here. So they come out of the huddle, and it looks like CJ is going to be under center, which I approve of. I'm wrong. He's going to be in the shotgun. And it looks like they are in a bunch formation, and Devin gets the ball, and he is swallowed up. No, he almost breaks free, and he's down. Looks like right at the 2, so maybe he picks up a yard. Again, that Devin Singletary rush attempts. When that thing was at 20, that's when it was basically. So so we have CJ again under center, and it is a 2-minute warning. So third and goal. I mean, we've seen CJ do this numerous times, coming out of a break or something like this in the 2-minute. I'd say probably another Devin Singletary to keep it safe. And then on, but it's third down, folks. So that's kind of gets into a place where you have a little bit left. Your playbook only is allowing you a certain thing here. So it looks, it's looking pretty solidly as far as that rush attempts at 24.5. I hate the fact that we were looking at that, and we should have probably jumped on it then. Let's see here. Any of our passing props. So CJ's 277.5. So a lot of people got in at 290, and now we are. So now we're looking at a just sub. I think this face actually said if it was under 280, you take it. I still think the second half is going to be huge, and he's going to probably get close to 300, but you can now get 277.5. They're taking Gardner's off. They're moving his up. So they're thinking he's going to get the ball back is what the Vegas lines are thinking. Pass attempts. See, that Gardner Minshew stuff right around 40 pass attempts was redonkulous. But if it goes up 14-0, then you're probably going to see this line kind of jump up there as well too. So it's looking like we're at least going to get something up for those field goal props. I don't know. Let's see what those field goal props are. Special teams. So tackles and assists and kicking. So Matt Gay and let's see here. Looks like you probably could have done. So let's see here. But anyway, those kicking points might not have been the best bet. But, in the end, it's still a long game between two rivals. So we now have let's see here, the passing by. So they've taken CJ's off. The passing touchdowns is off. So we now are in the huddle, and the huddle is now saying that we are looking like we are going to come back here and we can make this work. Let's see here. And it is now CJ in the shotgun from the 1.5. He drops back. He looks left, and it's wide open. Wow. The fullback. I don't know if anybody saw that one. I just don't know if anybody saw that one coming. That's pretty funny. So Beck was the guy, and I don't think that the Colts even saw that as well. So so the extra point is good. So now we have a 14-3, folks. 14-3 is the score, and that's probably going to come back out and look at if we're going to kind of see that, we're going to see a lot of passing now by Gardner Minshew. They're not in a critical care perspective, but you're going to see the 2-minute by Gardner Minshew, which is going to be probably Jonathan Taylor. Let's go back and look at those props. That's probably something we need to look at. Let's see here. What was that? What was this? All right, there we go. So there we go. So, from a standpoint of what the props look like, so now CJ, that 2.5. So he has 2 touchdowns. So that over for 160 at, you could have gotten that at plus 195. Oh man. See, if anyone's even talking about any of this stuff, it's what's called, it's called unit betting. And unit betting is you're not taking all of your bankroll. So if you're dealing in units, so if you have $1,000 bankroll, you're only using 1 unit. So 1 unit would say be, $50 or something like that. So if your bankroll is $500, then your unit would be around $20 or $15. So, what you're doing is you're taking small bets. So in order to kind of see how this all worked forward, you can either do what's called a ladder bet, or you can even kind of go into this and look and see how, you make a small bet on when it was around, I'd say 6 minutes to go. We were talking a lot about the receiving props and the passing props, and we could have gotten 195 out of that. And now you're seeing, looks like, so in the 2-minute, they just decided to go with Jonathan Taylor up the middle, and it looks like the Texans were waiting in more of a prevent defense. So Minshew saw that and just did an RPO and gave it to Jonathan Taylor, got picked the first down. So they have a full complement of their timeouts. Gardner he's basically going to run. No, he's not going to run. And it looks like, and it was absolutely unbelievably caught. So they're going to take a look at this. We're going to see here, and it looks like it was absolutely caught by Downs. Excellent catch here. Excellent catch. So we're going to go back up here and see how that all kind of worked. So a 16-yard pass to Josh Downs, or Josh Woodfoot. So, flag on the field. Too many men on the field for a 4. So, when enforced, so it was no play. So, looks like they're going to end up 5-yard penalty. So, still the first down, and it is now the 2-minute looks like it is just going crazy. So now Jonathan's gotten his some attempts out of that. Now Gardner has even had now a tremendous amount of attempts, and it looks like his touchdown ratio. Let's look at his touchdown. See, I bet you that thing's gone up crazy. So his passing touchdowns is now minus 200. So it looks like they still believe. So that thing's going to end up changing here in a second. But that was another one. So you kind of sit in this whole thing. So knowing the way the game was actually creating, and it looks like, and Gardner just got sacked. Nope. And it could be, there's flags all over the field. It looks like Gardner might even, was he down? It was, I can't tell. They're going to do a replay on whether or not he actually had a illegal contact on the defense. So it looks like the Houston Texans are going to try to keep these guys in the game. So 59 seconds left to go. And now the Gardner Minshew passing touchdowns looks like it's a minus 230. What is the rushing touchdown looks like? Pass attempts. Let's see here. Rushing. Live TD scorers. So Jonathan Taylor. So the 6th Indianapolis Colts drive touchdown score. Let's see here. A no touchdown. Now we got a false start. So we're just basically kind of backing each other into a corner here. So no touchdown is a minus 575, but I'd say I'm thinking Jonathan Taylor is probably like you can get a plus 140. So throw a 5 spot on Jonathan Taylor right now. That's what I would do. They're still looking like it's still, no, they just froze it. Now the no touchdown scorer is looking like, and it looks like Indianapolis, you're starting to hear the boo birds, folks. It was like they were driving down the field, and now Gardner Minshew just had to literally send it to the stands in order to that. So you have about 54 seconds left. The no touchdown scorer is coming that any touchdown is still available. And it looks like you have a Jonathan Taylor. That's still probably there, which I'm thinking is probably the best one there. So it's nope, they just froze that one too. So Gardner drops back, he fakes, and he throws a deep ball. All just out of reach. Oh my goodness, for Allie Cox. I mean, it was right there. So this is coming down to a 3rd and 15 with 48 seconds to go. And Mo Alley Cox looked like he did have his man completely beat. And Gardner just threw it too far. So incomplete pass, 3rd and 15. So we're now looking at a pretty, this is definitely 2 down territory, but if they get a nice chunk play, they could certainly get another field goal, which would bring it from basically 14 to 6. And he hands it off, and it looks like they're going for a field goal, and the Boo Birds are going nuts here. So 10-yard run, Jonathan Taylor up the middle, so it looks like it's going to end up being one of these things where they're going to go for a 14 to 6, and the Texans take a timeout. So very, very interesting how this is all kind of working out here. So, we've got 3 views today. That's not too shabby, so I'm pretty interested about that. Plus the fact that, we've never done this before, so I want to put down some things like this before and kind of see how this is all kind of going forward. And, This is something that I've done for so many years, but I've just never recorded it. So we've got a 14-3 Houston over Indianapolis. And it looks like it's a 52-yard attempt, folks. 52 yards. So this is a big one. So here it comes. And it's looking like it's hiked and it's up. And it is good. So 35 seconds remain on the clock for 14-6. And so we have I guess a game where we're kind of in a it's looking like it's one of those games where we're kind of you never see games like this end up being I'd say a blowouts. You don't see these games anymore, at least. So we're going to go change the score here to a big whopping 14-6. So, so like I said, 35 seconds left. The Texans took that time out. So I don't know what they're going to go ahead and do with it, but we shall see. CJ is now out there throwing and warming up, and they're announcing the winner clinches a playoff berth, and the loser is eliminated. So when we're at halftime, we'll kind of talk about this, and then of course, we'll see if we can keep on doing this, or we'll kind of come back in here. But what do you do? All right, if you're going to play aggressive, if you're going to do something that's going to say, hey, we're here. So what do? You do a run play? No. You want to bring this into 14-10, into halftime. But then instead you do a 52-yard field goal, which ends up working. But then when the 52-yard field goal works, now you've got this, you've given C.J. Stroud this ability to kind of come back in and so we have a visitor here. So maybe we don't have a visitor.
Nah.
We don't have a visitor? What are you thinking of the game?
CJ's him. What are you doing?
I'm doing a live stream.
There's people in here?
I've had a couple, so. So Devin Singletary left guard to Houston for no gain. So we had the infamous Connor Meade come in here just for a second here, who is a football player for the Clover. And CJ is back under, and he hands off. It looks like this is just going to be one of those things where they're just going to not do anything crazy. So did Indianapolis just take it? So this is a very, very interesting game. I'll tell you why, because I think that the mismanaged clock and the play calling by the Indianapolis Colts at the end, leaving 35 seconds on the clock, and now you have a second down and 15, and now CJ is going to be held responsible for trying to get this ball down there, and it looks like Indianapolis might want to try to get this ball back. So I don't know what's going on. It's the longest 35 seconds I've ever seen here. So I don't know what you can really see or kind of glean from this as far as kind of trying to put this thing forward here. So so CJ under center, and he pitches back to Singletary, and it comes back, and it looks like it's a gain of about 4. So again, Singletary attempts look fantastic, and so it looks like my live looks like this thing's kind of taking a nap here. So looks like they might end up just going ahead and taking this into halftime here. So it's still listed as 23 seconds here, but they're showing now that CJ's warm up, and he just basically does almost everything he can. He's now thrown like a pitcher. He's now shooting basketballs.
and he's using he's just a tremendous athlete here. So I don't know why my in-game live stream here is definitely working, but it's just for some reason isn't doing these play in progress. And there we go, we're back in there. CJ in the shotgun, drops back, he's looking, and he dirts it. So 4th and 12, 18 seconds to go. And it looks like now Gardner is going to come back out there with 18 seconds. So, extremely interesting way that this whole half has kind of been played. It seems like it was moderately aggressive by the Texans in probably every other drive. And when they were aggressive, they were able to punch them in the mouth. So, looks like Johnson is about to go for a punt. And it is up. And okay. And it is a 53-yard punt. And it looks like they are coming forward. And he was tackled. So another excellent punt. And it looks like Gardner is going to get about 7 seconds. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just took a knee and went back into the locker room, knowing that they probably could have got punked in the face pretty well here. And it looks like they are going to be just taking a knee. So that is another one of these. So end of the half at 14-6. So it's just kind of a recap of everything, how this all has kind of gone through. I guess before I kind of leave you guys here, because I've had an awesome time, but I'm kind of in a, kind of seeing how this is kind of being putting forward. So we're going to take a look and let's see here. I'm you are hearing the boo birds, but let's get back into this. So let's go here. Let's go back into the game lines and see what kind of stuff here. They're interviewing D'Amico Ryans. And it looks like he's enjoying the energy, and he has a 7-2 record when leading at halftime this season. So as you can see, it looks like the lines here still are, it was a pretty even line to start with. So a -7.5 and a +7.5. I mean, a -7.5 seems like that might be pretty solidly. The alternate spread is actually pretty interesting. I think I'd probably leave the 7.5 alone. They're only selling at probably a 4. Let's see here. They're selling a -220 at a -4.5. That's not too shabby. So maybe you pick up the -4.5 at 220, and then you go back into those passing props. And I think I'd most likely take CJ to throw 3 picks. Excuse me, 3 touchdowns. That's probably the best in-game pick that I see right here. You get, so you're it's a two-leg parlay. You probably could pick up another maybe rushing attempt. So let's see, let's do a rushing attempt parlay as well. So I think we liked the Jonathan, and it's frozen. That Devin Singletary stuff, I think that's probably the safest bet right there. So that's the parlay I think we would do right there. So an over 26, over, he's going to get us 26. CJ is going to get us another touchdown, and then the Texans with a -4.5 spread with the alternate. That's one hell of a good bet. So if you were going to bet, let's say you're going to bet $50 on that sucker. So you're talking, it's a pretty solid bet there, folks. I would definitely like that. So, I guess, kind of probably take a look at everything the way you guys want to look at it from an in-game betting perspective, because I think it's, from what I've seen, this is probably the way I would go. And once you kind of see how this is all, I'd say, kind of coming to fruition here, this is probably the most. I mean, the Texans are going to cover 4.5. That's just the way it's going to be. I mean, it's just the way it is. I guess we could look at maybe, going to an alternate spread here. Hang on a second here. Let's take a look here. Where's our game lines? So if we did let's see here. See, you could do a Texans 475. That's a lot of juice, but what would that do? So that's not bad either. Because you're looking at a 50. So you'd still win $50. You still win $60 on that one right there. So that's a really good one, because it actually it does bump. So it's not the worst. I know it's juiced to all get out, but it does look like it's going to kind of get you. So this would be a parlay that I would put down right now. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to go ahead and put this down. But that is kind of the way I've seen this game pretty much transpiring. So that is, I'd say, probably from a halftime perspective, I would see absolutely that C.J. Stroud is going to get another touchdown. I think he wants to make a statement. I think he's trying to say that I am the rookie of the year, and hell, I might even be the MVP. Now, the concussion put that out there, but he's already saying, I've got this. If he goes and throws another touchdown, then Devin Singletary is going to get a tremendous amount of runs. So he's going to go way over the 26 cents. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't even be surprised. I mean, just to make sure we're not, going crazy here with these rushing props. So it's still 25. Still, I want that Jonathan Taylor to come up. That's what I want to see there, because I think that under is money. I think the under is money. I'm surprised they're not even letting it go here. So looks like it's gonna come in. So if that comes up, that Jonathan Taylor one is really the one that I think it's the best one. That Devin Singletary, that's pretty neat too. Kind of like that one. Most of these that are looking like they are getting a little on the wider. Let's see if there's any receiving ones that give us some better odds here. I don't see a lot. So Mo Alley Cox. That's a nice little bait right there, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I like that. That'll come out there and get you. I do like a lot of these. I think that your tackles and assists are probably... I'm going to have to look at some... I guess we can kind of take a look at that too. See what the statistics are here. So let's see here. Do some stats. And let's look at these stats here today. So let's go ahead and get in some game details here. And they're not really giving us a lot of in-game statistics here, so but anyway, it's pretty simple. So we probably could go into and find something else here, but I still like these bets. I still think that those things are... Did they ever give us that? Did they ever give us a Jonathan Taylor? No, they didn't. So Devin Singletary. Nope. All right, guys. So, got some movement here. Got some movement. Nope. So they're just, kind of stretching this thing out because they know they have us in prime time at around 9:47. So, I think your best passing. I think you might even go just with these right here. That's not bad. That's not a bad slip right there. That gets you, that's, let's see here. If we take, let's see here, 50. So stake all singles. Sorry, can't do it. So we have to put another one in there, but that's fine. So anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I hope that you guys all enjoyed this. It's really kind of, I think it's really interesting and neat how this is all working out. So I got to get that watermark moved, or I got to put my face on the other side. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the game. If you haven't gotten the ability to, get over and maybe take a look at the game, it's going to be a good one, I think. And if anything else, you're going to see C.J. Stroud put on a show. So 3 touchdowns by the rookie, that'd be pretty neat too. So, all right, this is TheJakeman. I'm always going to be throwing you guys some content. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and keep, as always, keep gambling.